welcome to another episode of the Rebel Radio Podcast.
Hello.
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 Surprised we weren't going to
Hello.
hum the Star Trek theme, but you know.
Hello. Hello.
Ooh, went back to the 60s version.
Yeah.
And so what is up? We're back in the studio. Is this a studio? It's It's Mikasa's studio.
Yeah, it's a studio.
Yeah. It's the studio powered by a potato.
Powered by a potato. The old school Amish potato lamp.
Back in I mean,
Powered by a copper wire potato.
It is a log cabin.
Yeah.
You know, they could be like the old days and, fire going in the background, cranking the coal, getting the energy going. Yeah, I don't know.
More steam.
But other than that, man, how has y'all's week's been? Mine has been traumatic. We'll talk about that.
Yes. Yeah, yours has. I got nothing on you, dude. Nothing on you.
I mean, not that I want it to be topped.
Yeah.
My week was all right. It was a 3-day work week this week.
Nice.
So I had to spend a couple of days just chilling, relaxing.
That's good.
In bed.
As of today, I'm on vacation for a week, so.
Nice.
Oh,
so we understand
there you go.
Yeah. I'm off for the next 9 days.
Are you going out of town?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lakey, Texas. I'm going to leave for a couple days and be back.
Watch out for the Legend of Boggy Creek.
Is that out in that area?
Really?
No.
Is that something you just made up?
No, you heard of the Legend of Boggy Creek?
Sounds familiar.
It's a mockumentary back in the early 70s.
I don't know.
It's basically a mockumentary about a swamp Bigfoot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically. And it has a cult following to this day.
Okay.
I've heard the term before. There's a lot of... It was Texas-based, so yeah.
Was it? I don't recall.
There's a lot of Texas legends.
There used to be a show that would come on every once in a while called Ghosts of Texas.
Yeah.
And I used to watch it all the time.
Yeah.
And I think something...
Crosby,
up there.
Texas is somewhat the inspiration for the movie Poltergeist.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You heard about the Bear Creek ghost, right?
Nuh-uh.
In Bear Creek Park, not too far from here. When you go past, on the backside where the war memorial is.
Yeah.
And you go just over that bridge and you take that street behind it to the right, through the woods there. There's a bridge on the far side of that street. The street simply cuts from, what street is that? Highway 6 over to the other side of the Bear Creek Park. And if you go down that bridge at night, there's a bridge that apparently is haunted. And there have been people that have said they've stopped and then handprints end up on their windshield. And I've heard repeatable stories on it. And I'm not really necessarily a believer in that stuff, but the Bear Creek one's kind of creepy because I know people have actually witnessed, they claim, handprints on their windshield and stuff. That's not too far from here.
I've told you my ghost story, right?
I don't remember. You told me a lot.
So I don't think Long's heard it. So I'll make it quick. This is actually more of like a friend of my aunt's ghost story.
Oh, so it's not really your story.
Well, it's okay. So my aunt used to babysit kids all the time. They live in the Woodlands. There was a kid named Logan, and the family, moved close by, neighborhood close by, and so they move in. And Logan keeps going up to his parents saying, there's a girl in my room, and she keeps asking for candy. She says, "No, Logan, you want candy." And so he wouldn't shut up about it, and they put him in the room. They toss him in the room and they lock it, and he just starts screaming like holy hell. And he's like, "Stop! Stop! Stop! Stop!" And just all kinds of commotion. And he's like, "She's being very mean to me. She's being very mean. She wants candy really bad." And so she's like, "I don't know what to do." And she's like, she goes outside and she gardens. And so she goes outside and she's gardening. She sees the neighbor, and she's like telling her about, my son's just acting out, and tells him the story. And he's like, well, the owners of that house that put that house up for rent, their daughter died in that house of an aneurysm, and her sister's name is Candy. And they moved out like that.
Like, I'm going from here. Shit. And damn. Now that we're all creeped out,
yeah,
I'm not gonna be able to.
I got a slightly interesting ghost story.
Yeah,
but it's a little quirky.
Quirky?
Yeah, because my cousin-in-law, he was born here. No, he wasn't. but he speaks really good English, so you wouldn't know if he was from the motherland or anything like that. So he said that him and his 2 Vietnamese buddies were going down this highway from College Station to Houston, and it was a rainy storm.
Yeah.
And it was that classic woman in a white dress wants a hitchhike. So they saw this woman in a white dress, and she was like wanting to hitchhike because it was in the middle of the rain. And he was like, "Man, we can't leave her walking like that. Let's pick her up." And then they picked her up. They put one dude sitting next to her, and then the other dude sitting in the passenger seat, and and she sat in the back, and she says, "Can you take me to Bear's Landing, which is a banquet hall or something like that?" And then they knew that Bear's Hall was like closed or shut down, years and years ago.
Yeah.
And so they're like, she kept repeating that, and then we said, well, it's no longer there. She asked 3 times. They said it's no longer there, and then they start speaking Vietnamese to each other. It's like, hey, da, 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 da. Just back talking her. It's like, is she all right? And then then she just disappeared.
You're kidding me.
In the middle of them talking about her in Vietnamese.
I would have probably crashed the car.
They were
trying
quiet
to
the rest of the way, and they're like,
"Oh my god!"
Well, our friend of the show, Winter, who will be on, she wants to do heavy metal with us. She would appreciate these. She's real into like ghost hunting and creepy
Nice.
stuff like that. So it's really weird. But
you should definitely put it in our episode description. Ghost stories share.
Right.
Ghost stories.
Personal ghost stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
No ghost stories here, other than I almost became a ghost. It feels like.
Yeah, you almost
Me
did.
and the kids were in a car accident Monday, and we're very fortunate, very lucky. No one was hurt. And, some guy who may have been drunk or high, I don't know. He was on something.
On medication.
Ran a red light and hit us and T-boned us, and I'm just very lucky that I'm still here today.
Is that
to
your
do the
rental
podcast.
outside?
That's my rental
Oh,
outside.
okay.
And so it was not fun. I'm still a little sore from it, and but not a ghost today, so that's a good thing.
There we go. And no one in that car was a ghost. So.
Hell of a year.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I need a fucking redo on 2019. That's for sure. Or let's just jump to 2020.
I should have brought my scotch again.
I don't even give a fuck about my birthday or Christmas or anything. I just want to get this year over with. So.
Start another one.
Yeah, 2019 has not been very much fun so far. I mean, it's almost. Well, tomorrow's June, so we're almost halfway through the month.
There we go.
In the year.
Second half's got to be better, right?
Yeah.
Second half of the year's got to be better. So
Yep.
we'll see. But other than that, my week was okay. But no work for 9 days, so it'll be better this week. I won't be as stressed.
There you go.
Next week when we record, I'll probably be uppity and happy and let's do this.
Godzilla down.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
You got a whole week.
Yeah, but let's get into download this. Let's start the show. Where we tell you what we streamed, watched, or checked out this week. I have actually watched a few things, but I'm gonna let Long start because I know he saw his big one, his big anticipated movie for the year.
Without getting the spoilers, I saw Godzilla,
Nice.
and it was great. And it was everything I was hoping for it to be. Fuck Rotten Tomatoes. It doesn't mean anything. Pay attention to the audience reviews. That matters most. 90% versus 41%. So
There's no way it should be 41%.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I've never.
yeah,
When you go on Rotten Tomatoes, the most interesting aspect of that is you look at old movies.
yeah.
Look at Top Gun, they have a 54%. Top Gun's a modern classic. And I just look at stuff like that, and I'm just like, no, this website's terrible.
Yeah.
I think 89 Batman sits at 68% on there. No
Wow.
fucking way. 89 Batman's way above the 69%.
I know. I've rewatched that several times.
It's like, so...
Still holds up against nostalgia too.
Yeah.
At least to me.
So you got everything you wanted in it, man.
Yeah.
I heard the monster action is really great. I actually read somewhere that someone compared it well, it's kind of like the Transformers movies. The action's great, but why are the humans even in it? I actually read something like that.
Yeah.
And not that they were saying it was Bayish or anything. They were just making a comparison to the lack of human development and characters in the film. So, you're not in agreement with that?
No.
Oh.
No. Compared to Transformers, which is incomprehensible and hard to follow.
Right.
The action in this was great, and they stuck to the rule of sticking to the humans' perspective of the battles,
Yeah.
That's
which
good.
was pretty pretty awe-inspiring. Some people might complain it still focuses too much on the humans and the battles, but no way. There's plenty of battles to go around, and it's, I'm glad they stuck with the low perspective.
Is this Eleven's first major film?
Yeah. Yeah, from Stranger Things.
How was she in the movie?
She was good.
That's good.
But we'll get into it later on.
Gotcha.
When all three of us seen it. So, yeah.
Okay.
But I highly recommend it. Support the movie, and
It had a good start. Did about 18 million on Thursday night showings?
Yeah,
it's not bad.
24 million as of Friday.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Okay.
That all you watched this week?
No.
You had days off, so
yeah. I just I just watched a couple of animes that I'm staying current on, and man, I haven't played any games,
Yeah.
So I don't know why. It's weird. I'm a weird state of mind when it comes to playing games again.
Yeah.
So, but that's my week. Oh, and I recorded a special episode, so for my top 10 recommended Godzilla movies, and hopefully people are enjoying it. So, yeah.
Jackie wanted to watch a movie the other night, a couple nights ago, and I rented Fighting with My Family because I was like, I think you might like this movie, and she did. She liked it. She found it entertaining, and it had The Rock in it, so that was her favorite wrestler growing up, and then I went ahead and just bought Captain Marvel early.
You're so impatient.
Yeah, I am.
One day when you don't own your digital copies anymore, you're going to be like, fuck.
I hope it stays up. But I felt like it was entertaining. I liked that Ronan was in it. It was cool that they tied it in that way.
You hadn't seen it, had you?
I hadn't seen it.
You hadn't seen it.
And then she shoots... Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger's head she shoots off of a True Lies stand-up?
I don't remember. I saw it just in theaters. It's hard to remember.
Yeah, and then I didn't realize that Stan Lee was holding a Mallrats script.
It's one of my favorite cameos from him.
Yeah.
That means Kevin Smith's in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, he technically is.
Yeah.
And then that tribute to Stan at the beginning was just very classy.
Yeah.
Very classy. I was like, is that Stan? And then I see more Stan and the little...
Yeah.
And then thank you, Stan, for everything. And I was like, that was real classy. So,
yeah.
And then I beat Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on normal difficulty.
Well, you beat a fighting game.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
It's just a fighting game.
It's just a fighting game. You know how many quarters I wasted growing up on Marvel vs. Capcom?
That's your own damn fault.
I used to put a $20 bill in the change machine. My cousin thought my parents were crazy for giving me a $5 bill to spend at the arcade. My cousin's like, I get like $1 or $2. Your parents give you a $5? And I was like, well, yeah, we got, give it a $5. And I'd spend it all on Marvel vs. Capcom trying to beat it. And I'd always get stumped at the end. I'd always pick like Chun-Li, Ryu, and
You just suck.
Because Hadouken. That's all.
Well, we saw something together. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Yes.
I saw Lego Movie 2, finally, which it's fun, but it's not as good as the first one. It did feel like they were trying to capture lightning twice, and you could tell not having Christopher Miller and Philip Lord attached to part 2 affected the film.
Yeah.
Because I started to realize that those guys, after Lego Movie 1 and Into the Spider-Verse, they're pretty fucking genius when it comes to animation.
Did they do the
They did the script for it. They produced it. They did part of the script and produced it in the Spider-Verse.
Oh.
I'm starting to realize how genius those guys are when it comes to animation, and you could tell the Lego Movie 2 missed their presence being involved in the film. It's not a bad movie, it's just not as good as part 1. But,
kind of makes you wonder how Solo would have turned out.
Yeah, it does kind of make you wonder, but I still enjoy the Solo we got.
Yeah,
but Philip Lord and Miller are doing some pretty good stuff animation wise, and from everything I've read, they are going to be involved with the Spider-Verse sequel. They're not backing out from that like they did with Lego movies.
Good.
So that's good because I would like to see some good continuity there because I absolutely love the first one. Probably my favorite movie of last year. So I'm looking forward to that. But we saw John Wick 3, man.
We did.
We did see that. Freaking badass.
Yeah.
As like I think you said it last week, consistency, man, with that series.
Yeah.
Continues to just be really well done.
It definitely focused more on the fantasy elements.
Yeah, there are a little more minor clips with this one. I think I like part 2 better, just because I felt like this one. I like how they expanded the world more and the origins of John Wick, but I also agree it went a little bit more comic bookish, a little more fantasy elements. Like the movie's been out a couple weeks now, so I think spoilers are fair game. Like when he falls off the roof at the end, it's like, come on. Or the Bowery King gets sliced up 7 times. How did he survive that up on a rooftop by himself? The blood loss alone would have been some minor quips, in it. And then the fights, I did feel that the movie could have been about 15 minutes shorter.
Wow.
There's a lot of long fights in this to fill in the runtime.
Which one's dragged for you? Especially
the one at the end against Mark Dacascos' character, and they're making jokes. And don't get me wrong, I love action. And you guys know that, but even I felt like, okay, Wick, kick his ass at this point.
Hey, those 2 swordsmen at the end, are they from the raid?
One of them is the shorter ball guy. He's from the raid. The other one might have been the raid too. Also, I'm not sure. I have to look, but I know the one guy.
I did recognize him from Force Awakens.
Yeah,
we don't talk about Ganji Club.
Yeah, they're from the raid, and you definitely continue with Chris Skolinski, the director. Like his Asian influence from Asian cinema, it's like I continue to see stuff throughout the films. This movie's heavy duty John Woo influenced, probably more than the other 2 John Wick films, as far as some of the things he did in this, and Ringo Lam and other directors that brought Asian action cinema to America, and he's definitely influenced by it, and that's why I think people that see the John Wick films and they're like, oh, this is cool, and I'm like, yeah, I've been watching that stuff for 20 years.
That knife fight in that room was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
And
the stable fight was brutal too.
Oh heck yeah, dude! That was a little over the top for me, but I liked it. With where he's just like
over the top, but realistic.
Yeah. You would definitely get jacked up. Yeah. No.
And it was cool though. They're already they leave it wide open for a number 4, which they already announced, which I'm good with. But I also don't want the series to drag on too much.
I've never seen a gunfight utilizing dogs so effectively.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
German Shepherds.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was a callback to the first John Wick movie.
He shot my dog.
Yeah. He shot my dog, and John Wick's like,
yeah, I get it.
I can't argue with that. It's like,
yeah,
he'd be a hypocrite if he did,
And what's cool is amazing about it, like, you don't think about it when you're watching the films, but from John Wick 1 through Part 3, this is all over like 2 weeks. Like, you have 3 films that are basically taking place over like a 2 to 3 week period.
Yeah.
But yet there are these these films that are really well done, man. That's been a heck of a series. I went back and watched Part 1 after watching Part 3 last week, and it moves a little slower than 2 and 3, but it's still really good.
It's more emotional.
Yeah.
More emotional, and you could tell they hadn't built the world yet, so there is continuity differences in Part 1 and Part 2, but that's okay. They were still building the world. Like, he basically answers to Willem Dafoe's character in Part 1, the hotel manager.
Yeah.
He's barely in Part 1, but then in Part 2, he's like a major part of the movie.
Yeah.
There's some minor differences like that. But it's, again, sometimes you don't know they were going to make more of them, and Part 1 was a success, and they ended up making a sequel, and then good for it, man. It's been a rebound for Keanu in his career, and really good movies, so keep them coming.
Heck yeah. At least one more, yeah.
And bring back Halle Berry.
Yes, bring her back.
A little more of her character in there. She did a good job.
Yeah, I liked her character. Liked it a lot.
And then it's interesting that the adjudicator was another.
Yeah.
Talk about it. That's like twice they've used girls from Orange Is the New Black in the John Wick films, because Ruby Rose was in Part 2, and then she's in this one. I don't know the actress.
Wait a minute, the adjudicator was in what other movie?
She was from the Orange Is the New Black, the Netflix series.
Really?
Yeah. So
I've never seen it.
They've had two John Wick movies in a row of used female actors from that TV show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know why. Maybe the producer has something to do with them.
Yeah, but other than that, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. John Wick's pretty good stuff.
Pretty good.
But he's got to have a broken shoulder though at the end. That's the one thing when he fell off the building. I'm like, come on. The way he landed, had to pop his shoulder out, and he got shot.
Are you sure? Have you seen Last Action Hero? I mean, it explains what happens.
We had this conversation last week.
He always, it's just him always bringing up Last Action Hero.
Dormammu, I'm here to bargain.
That's the movie he compares everything to.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's favorite guilty pleasure.
Doesn't
movie.
Tar usually stick to people?
Though.
I tried watching with Michael one day. Don't tell this guy, but it doesn't hold up very well.
Oh no, I'm the comic relief.
Last Action Hero is pretty bad.
Huh.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers.
After you watch it, Charles Dance is in it too, which is interesting. And he was in the Godzilla movie as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's been around for a long time.
Can I speak to the drug dealer of the house, please?
We have some Arnold Schwarzenegger news later, so.
Oh yes, we do.
Bitch. Okay.
We gotta save
I don't know
it.
why I called you a bitch. But anyway, let's get into today's featured film. He has two things that he really loves in life: Godzilla, and he's a big Star Trek fan.
Oh.
And so his head might literally explode during today's episode.
It's true.
So if you hear something pop, that's just Long's head going off, and we'll just do the rest of the show without him.
I thought it. You said it.
But we're covering 2009 Star Trek, not your granddad's Star Trek. We're covering the reboot that J.J. Abrams did, and because it's the 10th anniversary, and because arguably it might be the best Star Trek film made. This is a really, really good film. I wasn't a huge Trek fan like Long is. I had watched Deep Space Nine growing up. That was always my favorite show. Next Generation, I was kind of busy when Next Generation. I was in high school. And wasn't really watching that kind of stuff. And Deep Space Nine came out while I was kind of in college, so I had time to watch it. And I had seen Wrath of Khan in the films growing up, and I liked them, but I wasn't like a hardcore fan. And J.J. Abrams' Trek made me pay more attention to Star Trek. I went back and rewatched a lot of the originals after I saw this, because I was like, wow, this is really good. And I did see this in theaters with my now ex-wife, and she wasn't a Trek fan at all, and she really loved this movie. And I remember walking out of the theater going, well, she liked it. They must have did something right with this. Yeah. And I think I went back and saw this. This might be like the only Star Trek film I saw twice in theaters, and because it was that well done. I know you probably saw it in theaters.
Oh yeah, saw it twice, just like you did. And it reminded me of how fun the Kirk and Spock characters were, and the original Trek series was pretty fun. But the TV series, it was more pedestrian compared to the J.J. Abrams reboot, and you could definitely tell that. I remember hearing in an interview that Abrams put that Star Wars energy into Star Trek.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he said it on the interview to give it that more of that oomph. And it's a great movie all around. Even the purists, some of the Star Trek purists enjoyed the movie, but they hated Into the Darkness. But there are some flaws in it, like the whole alternate reality time shift thing with Nero when he comes back and from 100 years into the future, and then so he destroys the USS Kelvin, and then what did he do for 20 plus years? When
waited.
When Kirk came back, and Eric Bana was kind of a cookie cutter villain.
You could have replaced, Nemo with a pissed off teenager.
Yeah.
That wanted to take on Starfleet.
I could tell Eric Bana was kind of like, he didn't really like the role. He kind of shows he was kind of phoning it in a bit, but he did what he could.
Well, it was either him or Russell Crowe. I think Russell Crowe might have done a better job, maybe.
And I was impressed with Bruce Greenwood as Captain Pike.
Yeah, he was good.
He offered so much
he's always a good
weight.
character actor.
Yeah, he definitely lended a lot of weight to Captain Pike's character.
Yeah.
And, man, Captain Pike is kind of a tangent, but the Star Trek Discovery Season 2 on CBS Access, the Captain Pike in this was really good, too.
Yeah. Oh, Anson Mount, he's a good actor.
Yeah. And has he been in any other shows?
He was on Hell on Wheels on AMC, and he was really good in that.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, he's one of those actors that people that really pay attention to, like, the acting world know who he is.
Yeah.
And they know he's really good, but unfortunately he hasn't gotten, like, that jump start. Because this guy's really good, and he hasn't gotten that big jump start to his career.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of love from the Star Trek fans, though.
Mm-hmm.
He is. He's getting a lot of appreciation. And now CBS Access is like, maybe we should come up with a series or something for Captain Pike and maybe bring in the other Spock, new Spock in.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to what I was talking about. I mean, the set pieces were well done. The lens flares were there.
They were there.
But, I didn't notice them as badly as Into the Darkness. They went over the top with Into the Darkness' lens flares, and...
A lot of photon blasts in the Darkness.
Yeah, but it gave it a gritty feel, though.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was just... testament to J.J. Abrams. He has a way of casting characters, and it shows in Force Awakens, Rey and Poe Dameron and Finn.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really well casted characters, and Kylo Ren, of course. And in this one, you have Zoe Saldana as Uhura, and
Carl Urban as Bones.
Yeah, I do like Christopher Pine as Kirk.
Yeah.
But I'm on the fence still about Zachary Quino as Spock.
Yeah.
It's just, it's hell of a. He did a sufficient job as Spock.
Yeah.
He was definitely sufficient.
Yeah.
I like John Cho as George Takei's Sulu.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Anton Yelkin.
Yeah, Anton Yelkin. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I immediately noticed. Like, this movie opens up with the destruction of the USS Kelvin, and we see the birth of Kirk, and it's a really spectacular sequence.
Yeah.
So in the first 10 minutes of this
Thor,
movie...
man.
Yeah. Chris Hemsworth
Thor died.
Yeah.
Before he was Thor.
Yeah. So in the first 10 minutes of this movie... Well, he was cast as Thor when this came out.
Yeah.
But Thor wasn't a hit movie yet.
Right.
They had just announced that he had been cast as Thor, and then Star Trek kind of hit. And so in the first 10 minutes of this film, this isn't the Star Trek you grew up. It's completely different than Star Trek Nemesis that had just come out 6 years earlier or something, 2002, I think it was. So you immediately know that, man, this is a different Star Trek, and it's so kinetically paced, but it's paced well. This movie, it doesn't let up at all, but yet it takes enough time to let the plot develop and let you get to know these new characters. They're playing characters we grew up with watching, but they're new, but yes, also somewhat familiar. And I think that's a credit to J.J. Abrams' casting because he does such a good job with it. Like, you immediately get that relationship between Kirk and Bones, and with Uhura, and the fact that you've got the Kirk that's trying to get in girls' pants. We get the green alien.
Yes,
it's definitely a sexier Star Trek.
You know what's funny is that Gamora walks in looking at a green alien woman. And she's not even she's not cast as Gamora yet. And I was like, isn't this funny? I was like, you're gonna wear that body paint in a few years, Gamora. I didn't see this movie until Star Trek Beyond came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, wow. Mark was like, yeah, Star Trek Beyond's coming out. Did you see Into Darkness? No. What? Did you see the first Star Trek? No. It's not Star Wars. You need to go watch it. This will get you into Star Trek. I wasn't a Star Trek fan either, but you got to go see it. And I was like, okay. And sure enough, they had a pre-order pack on Vudu where you could buy Star Trek Beyond and then get Into Darkness and the first Star Trek. So I did the pre-order, got all three for I think I spent like $30-something. It wasn't too bad. And I was like, wow, this is really good. I love his character. The guy that just doesn't look at the odds, and he gets into bar fights and he busts people up.
Solo.
Yeah, he's a Han Solo. Yeah. Han Solo,
Except
James Bond of the sky.
Right.
Yeah, he had responsibilities, and he's super smart.
Yeah.
But I really like his portrayal, and that first moment when you watch the movie. I think tons of guys cried in that scene whenever. His son's 2 seconds old, and he's like, what does he look like? What are we going to name him? And then, his last words are, I love you, before, he crashes into Nero's ship. It's crazy.
Yeah. But, out of the 3 Abrams Star Trek, I do like the first one a lot, but very close second to it was Beyond.
Yeah.
Because I really like how Kirk as a character, he's the captain in Beyond.
Yeah.
He's no longer learning as a captain, but he's,
takes charge.
He takes charge, he's in charge, and he's trying to bring his crew back together.
Yeah.
Which is I think it's a good send-off. And, when the 2009 Star Trek came out, that was when Paramount was cared for its franchises when it, took a little bit of care in their marketing.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, from what I'm hearing from industry insiders who work in the marketing arm of the movie industry, they say that Paramount's gotten really stingy with marketing. They won't hand out any promotions.
Unless it's Mission Impossible, I guess.
Huh?
Unless it's Mission Impossible. That's
Yeah.
they're a big cash cow as far as promoting.
Yeah. So, but right now, the only studios that seem to care for the movies that they put out, or the big ones at least, is Disney and Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So I am so sick and tired of seeing that Joker trailer. Did y'all see it?
That's
during
the
John Wick?
movies while I showed it
Yeah.
John Wick.
Yeah. I mean, I can hear the audience like, wow, but I'm like,
Seen it, been there, done
it's
that.
too artsy for me. It's
Too
just
artsy.
it just doesn't. I don't know. It gives off a weird vibe, and I think that's what the Joker's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, I mean, this Star Trek got me interested again to the original series and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
I think that's what it did. It helped bring maybe a new generation of liking Star Trek and everything.
It needed it.
Yeah. And it gave us a good reboot in a smart way without completely rebooting. It paid a lot of respect to the original films. They did. Leonard Nimoy wasn't in much of the marketing, so it was really a big surprise in the movie when you see him appear as Spock. And I was like, and it was really thought out. I thought it was thought out well. Mm-hmm. You get caught up in the whole time travel and alternate timeline things, and get confused by it, but this is a Star Trek film. People, you just go with it and you enjoy it for what it is, and I thought that was really well done. And then of course we got a proper tribute to Spock in Part 3 and beyond and everything, which is really neat.
Yeah.
But I thought that was probably the my favorite part of it is the way they tied in the original films with the reboot, and so to pay respect, but also relaunch it for a new generation.
Yeah, and it and in some ways a drawback to me is Star Trek definitely illustrates that it's more fitted for television platform than it is for movies. Because the only way to do Star Trek right or correctly, the only way to get Star Trek to make any money in the movies is to make it action oriented.
Yeah.
And if you want critical thinking or social commentary, then television is the only format for that.
Right.
Because you have so many episodes of one season, so you have a lot of leeway to play around to decide what kind of episodes you can do. So,
and that was some of the purists. Some of the purists for this didn't like this movie because of that reason.
Yeah,
they felt that Abrams turned it into a 90s, 2000s action film that had no substance to it. But I didn't feel that when I watched it. I felt it still had a lot of substance.
It had fantastic character stories.
Yeah. And it's mainly between Spock and Kirk.
Yeah.
They really just, it starts with both of them, it ends with both of them, and they really just push it in the entirety of the film.
Yeah.
So I feel like the plot mainly circles around them, and that's the relationship that is focused on. And even Leonard Nimoy, he Spock, he refers back to it. You don't know how much you're going to need each other, in the future. Paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But yeah. It was really cool that they used Spock to tie it all on together. That way, you at least have some ammunition against the purists,
Oh, yeah.
Hey, this is continuity.
Yeah.
Well, in those same purists, though, also complained that the Next Generation movies were just extended episodes, and they wanted more action. They wanted bigger and better. So Abrams goes and gives you bigger and better, and you still complain.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things you can't please everyone.
And he even threw in the Kobayashi Maru test.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and it's funny. He didn't mean to be. I read that he didn't mean to be eating an apple. He was just trying to be more cocky. And then, whenever in Wrath of Khan, Shatner is eating an apple when referring back to the Kobayashi Maru test.
Yeah, he did. Chris Pine did do a Shatnerism during that.
Mm-hmm.
It was like he did the Shatner pauses and stuff like during the Kobayashi Maru. So it was his little tribute to Shatner. Yeah, I can't believe that dude is like 80-something years old.
Yeah,
Shatner,
man.
Yeah.
And he loves Chris Pine. He's given him his blessing. He says he thinks he does a great job with the role and everything. And Leonard Nimoy did. Like Zachary Quinto wouldn't even take the role unless he had Leonard Nimoy's blessing. And then they told Quinto that Nimoy's in the film. He's like, what? And it really kind of scared him.
Yeah.
And he said Leonard Nimoy sat and talked to him. Was like, hey, you got this. It kind of calmed him down to do it. And he relaxed and he did the role because he was really nervous when he found out that Nimoy was in the film too. He's like, man, I'm going to fuck this up. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
But I think he does a good job with it. I think I'm with you, Long. He hasn't grown on me completely.
Yeah.
I think part of that is growing up with Nimoy too. It's taken some getting used to, and I think Zachary hasn't really had a chance to really make the role completely his own.
Yeah.
And that's why I was hoping that they could get this cast together for one more film at least. Maybe they still will in time, but right now it doesn't look like it.
The way that Paramount is being stingy, and the way that Chris Pine is like whatever,
Yeah.
you know, and he won't do it without Abrams. And I don't know. I think if Tarantino is going to direct it, it's like he might come back.
Yeah.
To be directed by Tarantino.
Yeah.
But
Or maybe we'll get lucky. I mean, I always thought maybe at the end of this year, once Rise of Skywalker is out and Abrams has nothing to do, maybe Paramount calls him and says, hey, what do you think about coming back to this franchise? And maybe he'll do it. It's possible.
Maybe he comes
I
back.
don't know. He'll have sequel burnout by then.
Maybe.
Because he's been saying all along that he doesn't want to do another sequel.
Yeah.
And I don't know about Tarantino, what he's going to do.
Who knows? He talks a lot of game.
He does.
How many Tarantino movies over the years have been going to be made and never got made?
Yeah.
Is
Is he still going to do the Kill Bill follow-up?
that's one of them. His Dirty Dozen remake that never happened.
Yeah.
But Uma Thurman called them out publicly last year about forcing her to do a stunt that she did not want to do in Kill Bill.
Yeah.
But he forced her to do it.
Was that whenever she was really pregnant?
No, afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember reading about that too.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's a falling out still.
And I'm not so sure. Like, we need a rated R Star Trek, to be honest.
No.
I think PG-13. I think Abrams did a good job with this and Into Darkness, pushing the edge of PG-13. A little bit more bloodier Star Trek, a little sexier. I think that's good enough for Star Trek. I don't think you need to go hardcore and make it rated R.
Yeah, make it like set phasers to eviscerate.
You got any favorite moments?
At the end, man, when the Enterprise comes out of warp and starts shooting at Nero's ship, I still think that's spectacular.
Yeah.
That was an awesome scene.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I immediately thought that this had the best. I think this has some of the best space battles for Star Trek. That scene at the end is so badass because one thing I felt in the other films and even the Next Generation is the budgets were still restrained. We got a little bit of space battle in First Contact with the Borg and all that, but we still didn't get those big, spectacular space battles. And Abrams finally gave that to us in the Star Trek movie, and I thought that was awesome. That was probably my favorite moment. Mm-hmm. And I think overall, though, I think it's a solid movie. It's one of my favorite. It probably is my favorite Star Trek movie.
Me personally, it's a small moment but epic. It's when the Enterprise came out of the rings, the rings of Saturn, but from the nearby moon from Saturn. That was pretty cool, and the way it just hid inside and all the clouds just parted for the Enterprise to rise up and do its thing. I do like Scotty and his weird little alien minion.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't tell. I still can't tell to this day if those eyes are antennas or something. That's weird and freaky.
And get off. And that's Simon Pegg. He told J.J. Abrams, "You don't have to pay me." He would have done this movie for free.
Yeah, he would have paid Abrams. Yeah. He said he would have paid Abrams to be in the film.
He said he called that Abrams called him. He's like, "Yeah, absolutely."
Dude,
he goes, "What about money?" And Pegg's like, "I don't care. I'll do it."
Dude, the UK loves Star Trek.
Yeah.
My moment maybe even smaller than yours, but I feel like it's so much fun, even though it's such a small moment, is whenever he's a kid and he's in the car and Sabotage is playing, and then whenever they scream, he's screaming and he's like, ah! And it's just that kid feel that he's being rebellious, and he's saying F you to his stepdad basically, and running from the cop, and he just jumps out and it says, "I'm James Tiberius Kirk," and just a lot of fun to me. I like the rebellious his kid
kind of origin.
Yeah, a little bit of his origin.
Yeah, and Spock's origin was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
when he's being picked on by so-called logical Vulcans.
Yeah,
I was surprised Winona Ryder was in this too.
Mm-hmm. Well, they had someone older because she's only a few years older than Quintero. and they wanted a scene where she was giving birth to him in the movie, which they ended up cutting anyways. Otherwise, they would have had someone a little older than Winona, because in turn, the person that plays her husband is like almost 30 years older than she is. So that's the reason why.
Then, the space jump scene, that is to me one of the scenes that stood out too, man, because this is like, again, it's one of those scenes that tells you this isn't your father's Star Trek. I mean, that's a really spectacular fucking scene. And a lot of it was shot with as much practical effects as they could, where they hung the actors up and they had them moving along a green screen, and they had them wired in and everything instead of just sitting on the table. They actually filmed some of the actors moving on wires and stuff, and that was really well. And I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
The battle on the platform in the end.
Oh yeah,
and freaking swords in a Star Trek movie. That's freaking awesome.
What's your combat proficiency in? Fencing. And I'm like, he's like, interesting.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to die.
Yeah.
Interesting. He's like, fencing, huh? That's going to be useful.
Oh, and how good is Carl Urban? He
hell
might be
yeah.
the unsung hero in all of this. As good as Pine and Saldana and everyone else is, Urban, man, owns Dr. McCoy.
Yeah, he does.
He's so good in it.
Although it's kind of on the back seat compared to the Spock and Kirk scenes.
Yeah.
He came to his own definitely in Beyond. You know? Yeah, the second one is kind of treated as a joke, but I'm glad that they stuck Spock and McCoy together in Beyond.
Yeah.
But I enjoy In the Darkness too. I actually really, I don't hate on it as much. I'm not such a purist that I hate it on the idea of reusing Khan and all that. I like the movie for what it is. I don't like it as much as part one, but I do like In the Darkness.
Yeah.
I think all three of them have been good.
I like the action.
Yeah.
And I do like how Kirk was portrayed in Into the Darkness, is trying to keep a ship together with all the stuff falling apart around
Yeah.
it, so.
And it's got Peter freaking Weller in it too.
Yeah, dude.
That's a win.
And Benedict Cumberbatch. They're how he talks kind of funny, like that when he's trying to be dramatic and
dramatic.
And so it showed a GIF of someone like, I really enjoy Thanksgiving. It was showing Cumberbatch talking in his monologue, but he's like, looked like he's chewing, But anyhow.
But the accolade, where does this stand for you, Long? And also, is this what's your favorite?
It's in my top 5 Star Trek movies.
Did it break the even odd curse?
What?
That only even movies are good Star Trek movies?
But if we were to throw it together, was it Star Trek 10 or 12 or 11?
10. This would have been 11.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, the whole Star Trek curse thing was broken by Nemesis.
Oh yeah, Nemesis.
Well,
Nemesis was an even number.
Heck, I don't hate Generations. I think Generations is okay.
No.
The only one
Insurrection sucked.
Insurrection's the only one I didn't like. Yeah.
Insurrection sucked ass.
It wasn't very good.
It was so forced.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, Insurrection's not very
It was
good.
terrible.
2002.
Nemesis, man, with a young
so
Tom
generic.
Hardy.
Oh,
He plays the Picard clone.
I didn't understand the hate
clone.
for Nemesis
Yeah,
personally.
I like Nemesis.
Yeah. I don't know why people were hating on it.
I think the Abrams Trek, this is probably my favorite Trek. I mean, I grew up with Wrath of Khan, and I really like Search for Spock. People hate on that movie. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
But I think this is probably my favorite. Like, if I'm going to reach for a Star Trek movie on my DVD set, I'm probably going to reach for this one more often than I might reach for Wrath of Khan or, But I like those movies too.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the Undiscovered Country. I think it's highly underrated. I thought that was really good too.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorites.
I actually saw that might be Undiscovered Country will always be fond to me because it's like the first Star Trek movie I really remember seeing in theaters.
Yeah.
I was old enough to remember seeing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Abrams Star Trek is really, really. I think it's easily an A for me.
Yeah.
I think it's better than a B plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's probably even an A minus. I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah. I agree. I give it a 8.5.
I've read people that think it's a better movie than Abrams' Force Awakens. I mean, I don't know. I love Star Wars
It
too.
didn't follow any callbacks.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars, so Force Awakens did.
Right.
But I'm interested in seeing what he'll do with this one.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So where does Star Trek stand for you, Matt?
As
Young one of the group who didn't grow up with Star Trek as much.
Yeah, and I haven't seen all the older
Original film.
Yeah, not all of them. I've seen Wrath of Khan. I've seen crap. Is it 5 when they go back in time?
That's 4.
4. I've seen 4,
Which is Frank's favorite. I think it's okay.
and I think I've seen Nemesis.
Really?
It's a guilty pleasure.
The Final Frontier.
I find that movie more entertaining than Insurrection, personally.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty good stuff though.
Yeah.
Abrams brought Star Trek back to the mainstream.
And was that a callback to? Was that another callback to 4? Because he's like, you know the formula, you just have not yet discovered it yet. And then he's like showing him, and I'm like, isn't this kind of like
aluminum?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, actually, it's kind of funny. Someone in real world have developed transparent aluminum.
Weird.
Yeah. Yeah. They just powdered up aluminum.
Yeah.
Made it a powder, baked it into glass, or not glass, but plastic.
Yeah.
And it was like truly a lot stronger.
Nice.
Expensive though.
Expensive.
Because
yeah,
it's like,
probably.
Because if you're making plexiglass, it's like 50 cents per square inch.
Yeah.
But with this one, it's $1.50 per square inch.
Wow.
So it's triple the cost of plexiglass. So it is real now, and it's bulletproof.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it comes with free lens flare.
Yeah.
Free lens
Actually,
flare.
the Abrams lens flare doesn't bother me. Like directors having their
Visual style.
Their visual style. I mean, Spielberg always has the characters looking at something in amazement.
Mm-hmm.
Tarantino does the trunk scene.
What's the trunk scene?
Where they open a trunk.
Oh.
Michael Bay always does the circle around the character camera.
Yeah.
John Woo and his slow motions. It doesn't bother me really.
And doves, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't bother me. A director has a trademark. I think lens flares work in a space film. They make more sense in a space film than they do like in Mission Impossible 3, and he's on an airplane.
It makes
like,
it
why
feel
is there a lens
grounded.
flare? Yeah.
Makes it feel like you're up in the action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm okay with that. So good stuff.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Want to talk some news?
Yep.
Let's talk news.
We talked pre-show, man. Rambo trailer came out. Rambo: Last Blood. Man, I'm just okay. These legacy films, nostalgics, whatever you want to call them. Like certain ones work for me for certain reasons. Like I think Creed worked because you continue the story on with a purpose. It was about family.
Yeah.
About Rocky's legacy and moving on to the legacy of Apollo's son. But like this movie, the Rambo trailer just looks like a very generic action movie. Let's try to cash in on Rambo's success and his success with Creed. And just like it did nothing for me.
Oh, you mean nostalgic success?
Yeah. This trailer, I had no goosebumps or nostalgic feeling watching this trailer. It just looked boring. That's just me.
Well, you don't like Home Alone with Death? Huh?
No.
The hell is wrong with you?
Good Lord.
I mean,
It's the Italian stallion.
but the last one wasn't very good. The last
Thank
Rambo
you,
from a
Arnold.
few years ago, the Rambo from a few years ago wasn't very good. It was just a bloodfest.
Shut your ass
No.
and watch the movie. Just do
When was
it.
the last time you watched the original Rambos?
You're going over the top here.
Yeah.
Going over the top.
Hey,
Yeah, you want to go into the jungle or
over
something?
the top too, sure.
Yeah.
But like the original Rambo is good, but if you watch 2 and 3, they're not very good. Like you go back and watch the original Rambos, it's just like those were those '80s action films. Like because the first one made money, let's just give you another $10 million and make a sequel. But really, to me, the Rambo films are the weak. They're just weak compared to Stallone's Rocky.
Well, I
films.
don't know. The box
Yeah.
office says otherwise back then. Come on.
He sounds very like an Asian Italian Rocky.
Hey, come on. Show some respect here. Hey, Adrian. You hear this guy?
Anyway, you know what? We're just gonna move to the next one. Robert Pattinson's officially Batman.
He is.
You know, the more I think about this, we've had a few weeks to let it gel. I'm okay with it. I trust Matt Reeves, man. The other day, War for the Planet of the Apes was on TV, and I was watching it. This guy is a good director. His casting is good. I think that Reeves is not going to cast someone that he doesn't believe can pull off the part. And I think maybe it's smart to go with a younger Batman. Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, we're both a little bit older. Maybe let's get some new, fresh, younger blood in there and see what they do with the character. You know, I'm not
As long
going
as the studio doesn't interfere.
Yeah.
I'm not going to knock a movie because he made a Twilight film. He was young. He took the money. You know, anybody would do it. You know, they would take the money for a role like that. So I'm willing to give the guy a chance.
Let's just see what happens.
You know,
Just see what happens.
yeah. I'm a huge Batman fan, so I'm always gonna have my own dream scenarios of what the film should be and what characters I'd like to see in it. But you know, I'm willing to give an actor a shot. You know, I mean, you never know. We didn't know who Henry Cavill was, and we liked him as Superman. Gal Gadot did good as Wonder Woman, so, we'll give him a shot.
I agree.
Yep.
Y'all
are men of big words today. So we got a trailer finally for...
my Stallone impression kind of took it out of me,
We got a trailer finally for Dark Crystal Age of Resistance.
Stallones don't make it right. You
stick with Arnold, I'll stick with Stallone.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid. Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. Man, this is actually a really cool trailer.
Yes.
And I'm gonna give it a chance.
Looks good.
I feel like the original movie of a lot of the '80s flicks. I don't feel the original movie holds up as well as some other.
Because the
80s
puppets.
films.
Puppets
It's
look
not even
good,
the puppets.
actually.
It's more just the film. It's kind of slow. Like if you go watch the original movie, it moves very, very slow.
Yeah, it's a slow
For a
adventure
kid's
film.
For a kids' film, it's slowly paced.
I don't mind it.
And but the
think it
trailer
holds up
looks
pretty
really
well.
cool. It looks like a mix of puppets and CGI.
Yeah.
And
It sure took a long time to be made, huh?
yeah, it feels like they
2
talked about
years.
this for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's coming out late August, I believe. It's going to hit Netflix, and don't know how many episodes it is or anything, but I'll give it a shot.
Is it a prequel?
Yeah, I think it's a prequel. It takes place before the film
Yeah.
because you still have all those big, creepy-looking bird guys in it and
Yeah.
everything. So
Yeah.
she used to scare me when I was a
You
kid.
know, the way the teaser ended.
Yeah, yeah. So
What do they call it? The Scree or whatever?
it's something like that.
Yeah.
There's some really creepy shit in the original Dark Crystal.
Yeah, a lot of little details too. They animated like little fur balls crawling across the hallways when he didn't need to. You know, made the world feel alive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a spectacular film for what it was when
Yeah.
it came out. I just find it a little slow to watch nowadays, but I give it all the credit for what it did.
Yeah.
Because Jim Henson fought hard against that studio to get it made. Back then, because the studio didn't completely believe in the film, and it was a Disney release, wasn't it? Yeah, but even Disney wasn't sure if it was going to work and everything. I think it's still on Netflix. I believe it. I'm sure it is, especially if the show's coming to Netflix.
Probably.
Shoot.
It's a cult favorite for
Yeah.
sure.
Might be something we cover in August when the show hits.
Might
To
be.
do the original
Maybe.
movie.
Maybe.
So
Yeah, maybe, baby.
So Stan Lee's final project. Oh man, I don't know if I can take more Arnold today. But Superhero Kindergarten. It's a new animated series done between POW Entertainment and Marvel. I guess they haven't shopped it to a network yet.
Yeah.
But it's going to star Arnold Johnson, I think was his name. I read. Well, I may have that completely wrong. I had it pulled up on the internet
Arnold
earlier.
Schwarzenegger in it?
Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to do the voice of the kindergarten teacher in it,
Oh.
where he teaches these 5-year-olds to be superheroes. Apparently, it's
Oh.
like an educational / superhero show for kids.
Interesting.
And it's with Stan Lee's final project he was working on. And I guess Arnold mentioned that he had already talked to Stan before Stan passed away about doing it, and he had signed on to the project. So it's something they've been working on a while, and I guess it's going to be on TV this fall.
That's
So,
cool.
It's kind of cool, man. Stan's
Putting Arnold in the Marvel Universe.
Well, I don't know if it's Marvel connected. Marvel Entertainment's just helping produce
Oh,
it,
okay. That could be. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of cool, man.
Definitely better than Stripperella. I mean, Stripperella was a good concept, but it's hard
So
to.
Stan giving us
That
one
was
last.
on- that
one
was on
last
cable
thing.
television.
Yeah, like
MTV,
USA or
yeah.
TV or
It's weird. Weird.
Yes.
The Ghostbusters game is getting remastered.
I saw
We
that.
always mention Ghostbusters.
It's a
on the
good
show.
game, actually.
Yeah, it was the originals. It was the idea for Ghostbusters 3. Was the script for the game.
Yeah, I
They
remember
turned it into
that.
a game for the Xbox 360 and everything.
You had it on the Wii, right?
I had it on the Wii, and
Yeah.
I have it on my 360. And so it's getting a remaster. It kind of came out of nowhere. People
Yeah.
kind of felt like, why did that game need to be remastered? Because the graphics were pretty good.
Yeah.
So I guess you're just going to simply give it an HD once-over and stuff.
I hope they also fix the menu system and the save system.
Yeah.
Because the save system was says checkpoints. That's it.
Yeah.
And the music sucked in it. It only pulled 2 tracks from the Ghostbusters soundtrack. One, of course, the song, and then the other was the Elmer Bernstein track. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
I guess I didn't notice that when I played it.
Yeah.
No On Our Own by Bobby Brown.
No, you have to look. That
was the sequel.
Yeah.
The rest of the music sounds very bad and generic.
Yeah.
Until they play the Elmer Bernstein.
I just remember the
score.
Proton tour things being a pain to use. They never aimed right.
Oh.
So I know they'll fix it.
I didn't mind that
Yeah.
much. So
So, It's coming this summer if you want to buy Ghostbusters Remaster for your PS4 or Xbox
or Steam
One or whatever. Lastly, Galaxy's Edge finally opened. Did you see the picture of the lines today?
Yeah.
I love Star Wars, and this is something I would absolutely love to see one day and go see the Millennium Falcon, but why would you want to go stand in that? It looks miserable. There are thousands of people there trying to get a Millennium Falcon. They said the lines today were 8 to 10 hours long.
Wow.
And they're even limiting people to only be in there 4 hours at a time. Is that something you would want to go see one day? Maybe years from now when it's a little less crowded?
Yeah, years from now.
Yeah.
And I love fucking Star Wars, but...
Galaxy's Edge. But how about the whole part of the amusement park? What else? Besides the rides, I mean, what else have you heard about it?
I mean, I've heard, I heard it's absolutely amazing. From the animatronic characters to... They said it literally feels like you're inside Star Wars for the hours you're in there. Yeah. From the characters, there's a bar just like the Cantina in Mos Eisley. There's a build your own lightsaber shop.
Wow. There's a VR element to it too.
Yeah. Yeah, they said when you're inside the Millennium Falcon, you feel like you're in a spaceship.
Yeah.
They said it's completely
like
surrounds you and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I rode the Star Tours, the original Star Tours, where you're sitting inside this little mini capsule thing with other people, and the whole stage, moves and gyrates along with the motion,
right,
with the screen, which was really immersive.
Yeah.
You didn't have to wear 3D glasses or
right.
anything. So, yeah. Well, I'm glad I did the Star Tours, before they closed it down for Galaxy's Edge. Mm-hmm. If you ever get a chance, man, save up that tax refund.
Right.
And take your kids
apparently they're going to bring.
Yeah.
And apparently they're going to bring Star Tours back. They're going to rework it. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something I want to see one day, man. I mean, I love Star Wars, and I've never been to Disney either. But it feels like if you go right now, you're not going to see it in Disney. You're going to spend all day at Star Wars.
Yeah, I'll probably wait a year or two after.
And wait till they build the Marvel Land too. That way you go see it all at once.
Yeah.
Because even though it's the best unkept secret at Disney that they're doing it, they haven't officially announced Marvel World, but it's coming. They've already bought the land apparently in Orlando. They have it all ready to go, so the Marvel stuff's coming too.
Wow.
There's a lot of alligators to move.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're Disney, man. They've got all kinds of fucking money.
Speaking of alligators, remember back in 2015, the alligator that attacked the...
Yeah, the boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was too close.
The pond was supposed to be uninhabited by it. It was supposed to be just ducks.
Yeah.
Fish. And they showed a picture of an alligator climbing a chain link fence, to get to another part of the land. Not the same one, but, all around Florida. They showed alligators can be very... stubborn when it comes to moving from land to land. So, anyways,
That's crazy, dude.
So that's all the news I
a
got.
little dark.
Yeah, a little dark.
We've had some dark elements on today's show.
Start.
Are we going to talk about Arnold getting kicked in the back?
Oh,
like
that
2
was a
weeks
couple
ago.
weeks ago.
Yeah, we never
was
talked
so
about
dumb.
Really news though.
it. Yeah,
Dude wants a Lamborghini, and the way to do it is to kick Arnold in the back.
yeah.
Right.
And I thought
Africa.
the funniest part was whenever Arnold later that day he went to like a girls' taekwondo or karate tournament, and he's like, "No, I'd hate to be kicked by one of these girls," because he's like, the guy, he's like, "I thought I got hit by the crowd or something,"
He felt like a paper ball hit him or something. He didn't feel it.
I just want to know, is he ever going to read comics for us again?
Probably, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I saw him buying a stogie today. Yeah, he was definitely buying a stogie.
Oh, I don't know. How about Stallone?
Ooh.
Hey, Stallone did step in for one episode.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Might be
Very
last.
good.
Yeah. So
Pretty good for a
Stick with
caveman.
Arnold. I'll do Stallone, okay?
Okay.
Well, let's preview next week's film as we go back in time, sort of. And no, it's not Back to the Future like people might think.
Because that would be going back and then forward.
Yeah, them movie titles always confuse.
Yeah.
But
Wild Stallion.
we're gonna talk Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Now, a motion picture so grand, so magnificent, and so vast, it spans 7,000 years.
No way! Yes way!
But it starts with Bill
I'm Bill S. Preston!
Who was Joan of Arc?
and Ted,
Noah's wife? We're in danger of flunking most heinously tomorrow.
a force from the future,
Can we go anywhere we want at any time?
You can do anything you want.
is putting history at their fingertips.
Let's reach out and touch someone.
They're traveling through time,
How's it going, Royal Ugly Dudes?
Put them in the Iron Maiden.
Excellent!
Execute them.
Bogus. How's he going, dude?
Speclet, stay au l'air.
And they're making a big impression.
Historical babes.
Now they're home
Buddy, get together. Remember who your buddy is.
to trash the 20th century.
You got a live one here.
Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter, Napoleon,
We're from history.
Billy the Kid. Oh my God. Joan of Arc, Sigmund Freud,
Tell me about your mother.
You a musician?
Beethoven,
Genghis Khan!
Abraham Lincoln,
Party on, dudes!
Socrates, George Carlin,
We're history.
If you guys are really us, what number are we thinking of? 69, dudes!
Bill and Ted's
Excellent! Excellent!
Excellent Adventure.
Party on, dude.
Man, no excitement for it? Wow. Okay.
Awesome,
69,
dude.
dude.
Yeah. 69.
It's a fun movie, and we did Star Trek and Black Hawk Down, and did a couple more serious movies in a row. So we're gonna do Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and have some fun talking about one of Keanu Reeves' his earliest role as he made him a star, and the sequel's coming out next year. They're doing again one of these legacy sequels, as we talked about earlier in the show, as they're going to bring in and do, what do they call it? Bill and Ted Face the Music is the sequel, I think it's going to be called. The movie that no one asked for, but you know what? I'll probably watch it.
Probably watch it too.
But man, any fond memories? I just remember Bill and Ted being one of those movies that you watched a lot growing up. That's kind of what I remember.
Was this the one where they went back in time and they got like the Greek?
They have to do the book report.
Yeah, the book report. Yeah,
or school report.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Bernie Casey. I was introduced to Bernie Casey.
Yeah.
And wasn't
It's on Netflix.
is George Carlin?
It's either on Netflix. It's either on Netflix or Amazon Prime.
You're gonna love the opening theme song.
I have it on Blu-ray. I bought it.
It's been a bit. I saw it on Comedy Central whenever. Yeah, they used to play it on Comedy Central a bit.
Yeah, the opening song is so 80s, but so catchy at the same time. So
I love the 80s.
It's a fun movie to watch. It'll be a fun one to talk about, have some fun with next week, and we might drop a little sub feature in there of some of our favorite 80s cheese films or something.
Excellent.
And was it
Execute Them Bogus
Babes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This movie is definitely surfer talk, that's for sure.
Yes.
So it should be a good, fun one.
Might as well have done Surf Ninja. No. Leslie Nielsen's in there. He's,
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure next week on the show. And in 2 weeks, let's do some announcements. First off, again, go listen to Long's 2-part special episodes, the 10 worst Godzilla movies and the 10 best Godzilla movies. They're playing on all your apps right now. Plus our last couple episodes, our Black Hawk Down episode and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, our live show from Compalooza. They're all still out there listening. And in 2 weeks, man, we're going to be back at Misfit Toys on June 15th. That's a Saturday. Approximately 7 o'clock we'll start the show. We plan on hopefully having a giveaway for you guys, and we'd love to get you guys involved. If you come out and listen, do a little Q&A this time, and we're going to be talking Raiders of the Lost Ark for our 150th episode. It's kind of a milestone episode for us, so we wanted to do a big movie, one of the greatest action movies ever made. So we'll be doing Raiders of the Lost Ark live at Misfit Toys in 2 weeks on Saturday, June 15th. Follow us on social media, Facebook and Twitter. We will promote the hell out of it. I'll drop the address on there so people know where to go. And come see us live at Misfit Toys in a couple weeks. And that'll be a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with our first show there, and this one hopefully will be even better.
Yes.
I think so. And as always, thanks to Daniel and
Paulina.
Thank you. I was trying to remember his wife's name, for having us out there. We really appreciate their support and their support locally for just the Houston market here and the things we do in pop culture.
Yeah.
Man, they're really good people, super, super nice people. So it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And that's all I got.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Until next time, this has been Mark.
This has been Matt.
This is Long.
And as always, go to RebelRadioPodcast.com. Follow us on all apps. Leave us reviews. And just go
there and do it.
And do it, or I'll stalk you.
In the butt.
This is Clifton Collins Jr., and you're listening to Rebel Radio.
Hey, this is Marky Ramone, and you're listening to the Rebel Radio Podcast.